Howdy everybody, it's me Marshall, and today I figured we'd talk about the home appliances parents and grandparents like me are glad aren't around anymore to pose any danger on our little ones. To start, let's talk about indoor garbage burners. The indoor garbage burner was quite a popular appliance during the 1950s, especially in households that wanted a convenient way to get rid of their garbage. Now, the Kenmore indoor garbage burner was a device designed to burn household waste right inside the home. Can you imagine that? Instead of taking out the trash like we do today, people would simply toss their rubbish into this appliance and it would burn up. Back then, people thought it was a fantastic invention because it saved them the trouble of carrying heavy garbage bags outside. They believed it made their lives easier and kept their homes cleaner. Convenience was highly valued in those times. However, my dear ones, as great as it may have seemed, the Kenmore indoor garbage burner had its fair share of dangers. You see, it used an open flame to burn the garbage, and that posed a significant risk. The flame could catch easily on something nearby and start a fire. The appliance had to be carefully monitored while in use, and precautions had to be taken to ensure it didn't cause any accidents. But unfortunately, accidents did happen. Sometimes people would accidentally throw something into the burner that wasn't meant to be burned, like a flammable material, and it would ignite and cause a fire. Another issue was the release of toxic fumes. Burning garbage indoors produced harmful gases and pollutants that would be harmful to health. People weren't fully aware of the health risks associated with these fumes back then, but as time went on, it became clear that it was not a safe practice. Wringer washer. These washing machines were quite popular and found in many households during the 1950s to 1960s. Now imagine a big sturdy machine with a tub filled with soapy water. The wringer washer had two rollers, also known as wringers, attached to the top. These wringers were made of hard rubber or metal, and their purpose was to squeeze out the water from the clothes after they were washed. The clothes would go through the wringers, which were manually operated by turning a handle. Using a wringer washer was a bit of a process. First, you would fill the tub with water and add detergent. Then you would put the clothes in and let them soak for a bit. Next, you would use a wooden or metal stick, often called a passer or agitator, to stir and agitate the clothes in the water to help clean them. After that, it was time to send the wet clothes through the wringers to remove as much water as possible. You had to be careful while feeding the clothes through the wringers because the rollers could catch your fingers, and that's where the danger lied. Now, when it comes to popular brands of wringer washers, there are a few that stood out. Maytag was one of the leading brands, known for its durability and reliability. Another well-known brand was Whirlpool, which made innovative and efficient machines. Kenmore, a brand sold through Sears, was also quite popular during that time. Speaking of danger, the wringer washers were considered risky because they posed a significant risk of injury. Those wringers were powerful and had a tight grip, and if your fingers, hands, or clothing got caught in them, it could cause some serious harm. Many accidents occurred because people would accidentally get their hands or fingers caught in the wringers, leading to painful injuries or even amputations. That's why it was essential to be extremely cautious, to pay close attention while operating these machines. Times have certainly changed since then, and modern washing machines have come a long way, making our lives easier and safer. Toxic refrigerators. Well, back in the day, refrigerators used something called sulfur dioxide and methyl formate. What they would do is compress them into liquid form, which then circulated through the refrigerator's cooling system. These substances pose their own dangers. Sulfur dioxide, when released into the air, can be irritating and harmful to our respiratory systems. It can cause difficulty in breathing and other respiratory issues. Methyl formate, if handled improperly or released in large amounts, can be flammable and harmful if it comes into contact with our skin or eyes. When it comes to popular refrigerator brands during that time, a few names come to mind. General Electric, often called GE, was one of the well-known brands. They produced reliable and durable refrigerators that were trusted by many families. Frigidaire, too, was a popular brand known for its stylish designs and innovative features. But despite their popularity, these substances could be harmful if released into the air or if there were leaks in the refrigerators. It was crucial to handle them with care and ensure popular maintenance to avoid any harm. Fortunately, as time went on, we learned more about the potential risks associated with these substances. Advancements were made to develop safer and more environmentally friendly refrigerants. This led to the phase-out of sulfur dioxide and methylformate, and the refrigerators we have today use much safer alternatives. Asbestos-filled hair dryers. During the groovy decades of the 70s and 80s, hair dryers were quite popular, just like they are today. However, there was a time when some hair dryers contained a material called asbestos. Asbestos was used in the construction of these hair dryers because it had excellent heat-resistant properties. It was used as insulation around the heating elements of the hair dryers to protect them from overheating. The manufacturers believed that by using asbestos, they could make the hair dryers safer and more efficient. These hair dryers were used by people of all ages, but they were particularly popular among women who wanted to dry and style their hair at home. It was a common household item, and many people relied on it for their daily hair routines. Some of the popular brands of hair dryers during that time included Conair, Revlon, and Sunbeam, among others. These brands were known for their quality and reliability, and people trusted them to take care of their hair. Now, let me explain why asbestos was considered dangerous. Asbestos is a naturally occurring mineral that, when disturbed, can release tiny fibers into the air. These fibers, when inhaled, can cause serious health risks. Over time, exposure to asbestos can lead to lung diseases such as asbestosis and even cancer. Unfortunately, people back then were not fully aware of the dangers associated with asbestos exposure. It wasn't until later, through scientific research and studies, that the harmful effects of asbestos became widely known. Now, aren't you glad these don't exist anymore? And aren't you glad you clicked on this video? If you are, then do consider subscribing to my channel so you'll get notified whenever I upload. Now let's continue with flammable toasters. Even though it seems like toasters have been around since I was a child, these fiery appliances were not as safe and reliable as they are today. They were primarily used for toasting bread slices, unsurprisingly, just like the toasters you have now. However, there are some major design flaws that made them quite risky to use. These toasters were popular among households looking to enjoy a warm, crispy slice of toast. People loved having toasted bread for breakfast or as a snack throughout the day. The idea of quickly toasting bread with the help of electricity was quite revolutionary at the time, and it brought convenience to countless kitchens. Now let's talk about the popular brands of toasters that were around back in the day. One of the well-known brands was Spark-O-Matic toasters. They had a catchy name, and their toasters were quite common in many homes. Another popular brand was Flame Master toasters. Despite the alarming name, people trusted these toasters for their ability to toast bread evenly and quickly. However, what made these toasters dangerous were the materials and design used. They had exposed heating elements, which means the part that toasted the bread were visible, and there were no safety mechanisms to prevent overheating. This combination made them prone to causing fires if not handled with extreme caution. Imagine placing a slice of bread into the toaster and having the heating element come in direct contact with a flammable object accidentally. The heat generated by these toasters could ignite anything it came in contact with. It's a good thing that modern toasters have come a long way in terms of safety features. So, which of these was the most shocking to you? Let's talk about it in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you head on out.